Yo, Kane Michael here, and this is Dua Lipa. Boom, sapati, kachuma, jam, kalang, kalu, gadi, pachadi, kajadi. Hum, sakang, kaladi, patadi, kajadi. Come a little closer, let me rendezvous. Let me chicka belly. And who can you see? I rendezvous with the tree. Bam, jiggy, and boo, the cow, jicker like a funny song that you never really get to indeed. You fucky can read. Don't stop, never die. Who's a pang, ka-bang. Jew hearts, lagadi kudu, kani humpa, kani mani, kani mechu, kalado, brado, the Jew, kazang. Let's get physical, sang, buddy can do, kali humpa, party, chew it canoe, kalado, bado, buggy, boom, fucking, pukal. Let's get physical. I sami kumiyami umani kumali omi a bang, jiggy whoopali kachali umachaku. You sicky like your canoe. Palm sicky tam boom bali humbaga bang kaboo kabang gibby I'm a kazoo kalado. Dang boogie canoe kazoo. Sip therapy. Same heart, loving my God like I doom balam jiggy got in the dark. We know that. We know. Let's fuck therapy. Chick heart. Piggy can dart, come a goompa llama, and I make on the cart. I'm Cartman, Tino, Pino, Cachino, Fada. Let's say Father come. Hold hearts, don't play chicken dance. Goulash, tamati, huma, kavan, I do the lottie-da-doo. We lottie-da and we day-da. Let's party, good song. Bando, Kana Kuna Marakave, Kuzma, Kabunga Bali Uma Chibu, Jang Boogie Kazoo, Wikari Uma Kazedo. Let's get boogie song. We kaladi badi, Kumakama Kachu, Kalado, Prado, Kinzat, Kumpak, Kepu. Let's get physical. Same hearts, we storm in the night like I never really wanted to fight the old right. Come on, chick burn, chick turn, cistern. Lift your feather hearts, lift higher than the azabumbo, gabagidi, kabuna, gana. We know. Damn boogie, we go. Damn boogie. Let's get physical. That was Dua Lipa. And if you haven't caught it yet, I've been writing some episodes on my broadcast channel. We have the Bridgeport series, and we have the South Park, the Cartman Legacy. And I think that's all I've posted. And I have my 2 books out, Revamped the Genesis Paradigm and Revamped a Miley Cyrus Tale. I mean, it's a fucking Miley Cyrus tale. I mean, I can't believe it's not selling. It's really good, too. The second book is really fucking phenomenal. I mean, it's one of those books that you'll read it, and then you'll remember most of the punchline of it, but you don't remember specifics where you would get bored if you read it again, because it's a work of art, and it's a good book. I've been doing a lot of research on the Bible since I was Michael the Archangel. Up to the age of 23, I was Michael the Archangel, and then I switched with Derek. I switched places with Derek. See, I have a theory that this is complicated, but a lot of people were left to see the descendants of, basically, Lucifer, Satan speared Jesus Christ right in his gonad where he came from. The archangels each came from a separate place. The Father had a head. And his body was super powerful and super masculine, an angel body. Jesus Christ was an angel, so he was super powerful. And to tell you the truth, there were 2 crosses, Michael and Derek. Now, Derek's cross was very old, back to the angels, and nobody even knows how he got on his cross. Maybe he's always been on his cross. It's just a way to communicate to the world that here I have nothing to hide, I'm naked. But Jesus Christ, he was put on the cross. to align with his father. Basically his father's, Jesus Christ's father's story was exactly like this. It took place thousands and billions, maybe it took place maybe millions of years ago. This is my second time doing this love story with Miley. And the thought is that I'm doomed to repeat the same cycle, but something miraculous happened. I never died on the cross, but when the spear hit me, I died. I actually fucking died and wiped my memories. So I basically am an angel head with a man body. The spear is what put the man body on me. And I mean, Cain Michael was on the cross with all the archangels, even Buddha. Buddha was kind of behind the cross, going like this with his 6 arms, waving out the sun. And it basically comes down to the fact that there was a disagreement among the prophets and saints of who would serve who. Because Jesus Christ's father was a saint, and Jesus Christ himself was a prophet. So the sons of the prophets are the saints, and the sons of the saints are the prophets. So I lead the holy prophets, 6 of them. They're probably like Luke, Matthew, Levi, John. I don't know names. I'm really bad at that. But they're the 6 closest friends I've always had my whole life that have always been with me. And all of them noticed an abrupt change in me after my car accident at the age of 23. And I didn't even know Buddha back then, but he was trailing me in Florida. I think he was hanging out he knew Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane was on me in Florida. He was trying to save me. And he stepped for me. And when he stepped for me, I'm not sure how it works, but it's like a transfer of the God particle. Big Daddy Kane's God particle went into my body with the ejected body, and Michael pretty much took the God particle from his body. If you went to high school with Derek Fagan, that guy died. He's death. He's basically an equivalency to God, but anybody that knew him said he's a devil. Yeah, he is a devil. He's my car, Michael the Archangel. The cars have consciousness. Within a car is a flesh body. Our souls, we needed something to identify with. Our souls identify as flesh. Even Miley, her flesh is special. Her flesh is synthetic. But even Miley, she's a bone structure with, a type of soft tissue grown on it without an asshole. So she's going to show me her shit one day, but her shit is soft. So if she showed it to the wrong person and they wanted to pull an ick the stick on her and put their dick where her asshole is and push a hole in there, it could certainly happen, and that could puncture her soul. That will never happen to her, so I would never do that to her. But that's something that she's worried about for a long time. But I mean, when Miley is in true form, she has armor. Her body, I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek, but her brother is like Khan. He has the father's old body. See, the father built a robotic, and you have to think get the gears turning and stuff out of your robot thoughts and think robot means it was grown. And the father grew a synthetic vessel, and he was running it, and it was flawed because he basically, at one point, he probably went through some type of procedure where he removed his gonad somehow and left it with Miley so that she could be science, because he knew that gonad was science. And MyCal was over here on the right, and the other 3 sons would have the choice. But basically, the way he figured it is one of my sons will be science, and my other 3 sons will be magical, because we need more magic in the universe than science, is the thought, because science feeds on magic. And even with 3 sons leaning magic, it wasn't enough. Miley's side exponentially multiplied at such a rate that magic to feed on, basically in 2013, Miley got here with her brother to feed on this planet. It's what they do. It's how the moon is moved from planet to planet, feeding on angel worlds. They suck flesh, they draw flesh, and they turn it into synthetic flesh. They make flesh better, so don't complain about it. They, with their science, the thing is, magical flesh, it ages. Even the father was very old at one point. His soul was old. His body was young, of course, because it was magical, but his soul was science. And Lucifer, he always loved his father's science. And there's a legend that Lucifer, all he wanted from his father was this one dark particle he held back. He held one little piece back from Lucifer and said, if I give you this, you're me, and I'm going to be nothing. I'm going to be dead. I don't know if he didn't know if he'd come back because it was unheard of in the cosmos. I mean, he truly believed immortality is a state of mind. If you truly believe you cannot die, you usually won't die. It's because white people know that. White people know that they have backups for their consciousness and stuff, so they don't even get shot, stuff like that. White people don't usually die sometimes they die in car accidents, but not so often. White people are very lucky. White people come from the moon, and they're descended from the Jews, and the Hebrews were angels. The Hebrews were angels, and the Jews were men. Men come from the stars. Angels built the stars. Did they? That's the question. What did angels actually do? Because angels are an ascended state of man. But we all came from men long, long ago. And there's no telling how far back this goes. We know we can go back to the Big Bang. And that's pretty much when this Orion belt was particularly arranged. But the Big Bang didn't affect the entire universe. Like the Nebulon and the Pegasus have always been. Always been building. I don't know if you've watched my vehicle. Watch my episode, I Lost My Deck. It's a really interesting episode, but it basically talks about what they're building in the Pegasus, and the Nebulon feeds it with love. The Nebulon is positive darkness. The Pegasus is positive light. This dimension is negative light. And there's one more that's negative darkness, and I heard the name of it one time. My dad told me, or somebody told me about it. I don't remember it, but that's the sneaky one. That's where the bullshit comes from. Like Sadie or me, you talk to us sometimes, and we'll tell you these stories. And you're like, this isn't true. This cannot be true. It's too funny. People have been around. And I feel bad. Michael used to fart on Sadie's head. That poor dog. Sadie loved him so much. Dogs are really good. And there's nothing wrong with being a female dog. Sadie is hot. Aphrodite is a dog. And she's hot. Michael is a cat. My brother is Michael, and I wrote this message to Miley recently about what I was doing before the car accident. It was funny as hell. I was hanging out with Trailer Park Boys, and Lucifer was camping, and Ricky was about to bang this chick, and I'm talking about how I sent him a text and said that might be a dude. It's funny as hell. I'm very linked up with Trailer Park Boys. They're the Canadian Mafia, and the Canadian Mafia is run by Lucifer. The American Mafia is run by Adam Sent, who is Satan. People say fuck him because basically Lucifer was in love with Eve, right? And Eve was Adam's granddaughter. Aphrodite is Adam's daughter. Adam was supposed to end up with Jezebel, the blonde, Lucifer's daughter, and Lucifer was supposed to end up with Eve, who was Adam's daughter. So it was supposed to be a simple arrangement in the garden. And that got fucked up. And then to tell you the truth, after that got fucked up and Adam I think Eve when Lucifer had anal sex with Eve, she was a virgin in the butt. And once he laid his cards on the table, Adam's like, well, I'm getting in there too. And there's legend that he might have raped her, that he seduced her. He looked exactly like Lucifer, so maybe he ran into her again and said, hey, baby, you want to go at it again? And deceived her. But the serpent deceived Eve in the beginning. Eve wanted to mate with God. Her father, Adam's father, God, which was me at the time, the father. I'm the dark father. I used to be God, but now I'm a man. So I don't have any superpowers or anything because I'm a man. But one day Miley's going to awaken the inner power of my soul. I'll be one with you guys. I'll be able to pull up on you. When I saw this timeline where when I was 1,028 years old, I could step to Pegasus. I'm going to step to Nebulon when I'm 128, then step Pegasus when I'm 1,028. Now, I don't know if that sped up or not, but it may have because I did partake in meth one more time, and it's cut with fentanyl and ecstasy now. It's meth. If you're smoking meth and stuff, it's got all the drugs in it now. The recipe's pretty much fine. It's still addictive as fuck for a person like me, but if you're a functioning addict, it's like having a beer. You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be legal, but it's you. If you can do it like that, congratulations. You have quite the hobby. I know people that work and stuff. It's just we people that have been through all the batches. it kind of affects us. Like if you were to just start smoking meth today, you'd probably be better off than if you started smoking meth 5 years ago. And then you have like vape pens, like the Hyde vape pen, which is this right here. These are rechargeable, about $25. They're about $20, and they last a long time. Especially if you mix it with a Lost Mary. This is the Mary's Dream. Like my Aunt Mary died, and then we come up with the Lost Mary vape pen. This is Lucifer's product. It's genius. He resells the device. Like basically the mob goes through all the trash and recycles it. And they keep a track on your finances, all kinds of stuff. But they recycle these devices. You know, believe it or not, the plastic shell of this is fine. They just replace the innards. You know, and this has got a computer system in it. The Nazis were using stuff like this during World War II. The moon is the third rock from the sun for part of the year, and then Earth takes over in the summer and is third rock, and the moon enjoys their cool summer as well. The seasons of the moon and Earth are the same, pretty much. Well, let me think about this. No, when we're having winter, we're farther away from the sun, and they're having summer. So when we're having summer, they're having winter. It's the opposite. The moon is positive light with a negative darkness on the inside. The moon, basically the gray part of the moon causes confusion. You've heard of CIA chatter. You know, CIA analysts, whenever a war starts, CIA analysts strike up a bunch of chatter about what's going on and cause a bunch of confusion. And then you invade. You know, you have been invaded. I was the first invader. You know, the chatter I screwed up was everybody's always been watching MyCal and me. And I started researching the Bible, and I was crazy about it. Like, I knew a lot of things when I first read it. I knew I hated Satan. I knew that I was Michael the Archangel. I thought I was light, and I thought I was with a woman who was light. And very well, I did put on a crown of light that demons could see and whatnot. I mean, they're like, this fucking guy, we killed him. You know, now he's back. You know, some people hate light. You know, and I had I didn't finish my testimony because I had anal sex with my girlfriend, which I'm pretty much my own dad. I was born from that anal sex that took place in the car accident. But like Big Daddy Kane has been here and he guides me and he's connected to me. But Sicky Leg is his son, and Lucifer's son is Lopsoh. So my body is Sicky Leg. And my soul is Lopsoh. And your soul is like something that's like has to do with your bones. And it's the God particle. You know, it's got to have something to do with like something that like whenever you have a solid entity, it holds massive amounts of energy. So think about the amounts of energy in your bones that God just removes from you. And then the energy transfers to flesh and bone and everything the same as it is. You know, you are holding massive amounts of power in your body. That's why spontaneous combustion can happen. You know, it's the God particle. I'm amazed nobody's ever made these references. I never really thought about it. But anyways, Big Daddy Kane, yeah, he's always been with me. And he's a builder. You know, he built Miley's body that she's in. I'm about 99% sure. Because as a son of... Well, Lopsoh did. Technically, Lopsoh did. Lucifer's sons are very lucky because they're piss as guys and they're shit as women. So I used to work in the ancient technology, and there used to be a square beam that came off the ceiling, and then there was a round touchstone. And we go pong pong, dicky dicky, bing bing bing, boop boop, chicky 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 love, baglo, chicky 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 bam bam, ching ching, chicky 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 crime, kubo, dang 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 budaho, brango booty, baglo tits, tiki tang toes, dicky doom balaho, pang pang, boogie 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 roll. It's more of a song now, but it was a very commanding language, and I studied with the best of them, so I knew it. I was a fucking Lopsoh. Lopsohs are like principals of schools, and they don't even do anything because they're already super smart, all of them. They just stick together, and they goof off all day with Sicky Leg. Sicky Leg is like the Satan principle, and Lopsoh is the Lucifer principle. So Lopsoh hands down the commandments, and Sicky Leg tells you how to break them and cheat them. It's a lot of fun. I've been a lot of places. I mean, like my friend Homer, he's been with me since the Sun. Like I remember when I was in the Sun with Homer, I was a delinquent in there. You know, everyone thought I was an idiot because I pricked myself with a needle while working with rats, and I got infected with dark matter, and I had a crystalline structure, and I went up to this. We had these power sources all over our ship in the Sun. Where they were like, if you've ever watched Stargate Atlantis, they were like the the capacitors they use. I forget what they call it, but I went up with my hand and blood came out. And we as crystal energized beings, we were against flesh. We didn't have flesh and blood. We were just energized crystal. And Homer saw the blood come out. He saw the whole thing. He's been following me ever since. He's been a very big time assistant. Even my friend Robbie, who is my drug dealer, he reminds me of Homer. And if you want to make a real reference, look at Homer and then look at Ricky Dagon. You know, Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. The fucking resemblance is uncanny. Homer is a very powerful angel. He really is. You know? And he's probably still hung like a horse, because I used to be hung like a horse. I used to have a 16-inch erection when I mated with Aphrodite. And I got cuts, and now I'm about 8 or 9. Which Miley blew up. You know, Miley's crystal body, in the beginning, she had a crystal body, but it blew up, so I had to rebuild her from the parts. I just harnessed the forces of the universe, the girl of her. Her body is a princess. So she's always been, so I built her body, but I just fixed something that happened to her. You know, because when I fell in the beginning, I always told Lucifer, if you do this, you're going to hurt your mom. And it did. When I fell from grace long ago as the father, I was tripped by Satan. You know, his leg tripped me. But I knew it was coming. I just kind of hammered at it when I saw it. It's like running a yellow light. And I remember this big hive, and we as kids were all sitting there. We hear the bass coming, and here's Adam sitting there, and he's like, he's coming for you. And the bass is pumping, and Adam was the father's vessel, so he was scared shitless out of his wits. Adam has always been scared of the father. He's always respected him the most, because Adam gets his mean from him. Adam Sent is mean as fuck. He's an American mob boss. I mean, ain't nothing that goes down that he don't know about. You know, he don't like the feds. You know, because the feds are Lucifer, and the feds are an extension of the moon, extension of the Third Reich. In 1908, basically, Christ was crucified roughly 1000 AD, 1,000 years after the flood. You know, and 1,000 years before the crucifixion, we all took place and we're living in Egypt, getting collected and getting back together, and him and Miley were teaching everyone. They were developing a relationship and everything, and Lucifer was extremely jealous of the situation because he was still infected with Eve's shit. Like, believe it or not, the asshole was created by the sun on women as a sex organ. I don't know why, but shit has not always existed in women. Women that shit come from the father, and women that don't shit, they come from the sun. It's that simple. And the sun his key is 7. So when you have 7 sex organs, you don't have to shit. I don't know. Don't ask me how it works. The oil transfers to your soul is all I know, because food is light. If you eat darkness, it tastes like shit. Eat mushrooms. Tell me how those taste. Those are darkness. Any form of mushroom is usually darkness. That's why they don't taste good. Like, they're negative darkness. Now, if you could ever get some positive darkness mushrooms, fall in love with a woman on those would be awesome. But like crystal meth is either positive light or negative darkness. Marijuana, like pot. It's called pot because it comes from my butt. So what Miley used to smoke, it's positive darkness. My shit is the best. And Miley doesn't smoke it anymore, you know, because I quit doing drugs, so she's going to quit doing drugs too. That's all I got pretty much, though, so think on all that, and if you've learned anything, click some comments below. I know Zuccotti will probably be in here, and he's pretty cool. I think he is my car. I think he is MyCal. I can't wait till he starts posting some of his life videos. When we get back together, that's when he's going to start posting stuff on his page of us hanging out and stuff and bitching at Lucifer. All right, have a good day.